Hey there, Jonathan here, and in this video I want to cover one of the things that I see entrepreneurs in the $0 to $100,000 range per month go through. And I've seen this a lot of times, whether it's someone looking to gain momentum and land their first clients, or they've had success and landed 35 to 50 clients, and then they've burned down their business and pivoted into new offers or shiny objects, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you a client that I met at a Brand Shark Summit back in June. It's now the end of November when I'm shooting this. And then he bought into our 4 Weeks to Profit cohort and our 28-day fast start. And ultimately, the work that we did together with Alan was helping him get clear on his offer, right? And it's almost unbelievable because by the time that September hit, Alan, which would have been 3 months after we initially had this interview that you're about to watch, he went on to close a $90,000 client, which that is not by any means normal. But it just goes to show when you start to get clear and focused on who you want to work with, what you want to build your business around, and ultimately how you want to deliver your offer, what can happen, right? I'll let Alan do a lot of the breakdown, and you'll start to see what some of the bottlenecks and problems that Alan ran into in his development, right? He scaled his business from 0 to 80K fast and effectively, and then he pivoted into other strategies, wound up burning everything down, and then ultimately having to start from 0 again, right? So we helped him work on and develop his character. And Alan, shout out to you. You're watching this. You did all the work, brother. I was just along for the ride. And I'm super grateful that I had the opportunity to come in contact with you and help you through this time. So let's hop into the interview. I'm here with Alan, and today we're going to be putting together an offer because Alan is an expert in this field. In just a moment here, he's going to tell you what he does, but he's having a little resistance with getting an offer in motion that really surges folks and really helps him have clarity to move forward with speed and action, right? Yeah. So Alan, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll bring you into our framework on how to make an offer real quick.
Yeah, so I'm a relationship coach. For the last 13 years, I was only doing one-to-one. And then I caught the Hermosians and I decided, I need a school group. I need low ticket offer. I need to give away things for free. I need to build a group. Maybe I need another group. Like I need to sell all of these things. I don't want to leave money on the table. And in doing so, I didn't make any money on the table. So that was my main problem. Before, what I did is traffic to low ticket funnel that had a one-click upsell, then thank you page. Very simple. I also had a chat widget in the bottom. So if you had questions, they ask me questions. In about 2-3 months, that made about $80,000. Then I lost my Stripe account because I didn't know that they don't like working with coaches. I had a chargeback that was more than 1% of my stuff. I had all the documentation, all of the voice recordings, a contract signed. Turns out the bank didn't care. They were never going to side with me. So I spent a lot of time wasting with that, lost the account, got upset, got over myself. And I was like, all right, I'm going to change what I do, but not one thing, everything. Oh. And then I'm going to go into the whole, like the unknown. I don't even know what any of this is. I'm going to master it. That didn't look either. Because it turns out I don't know how to run a school. I don't know how to have a community. I don't know how to do group calls. I don't know how to run webinars. I don't know how to convert on webinars. I don't know how to get traffic to the webinars. I don't know how to build the landing pages for the webinar. There was an infinite amount of things where I was like, now I need to learn all these skills. Now I need to find people who can teach me all these skills. And I was like, but I can probably do more. So now I'm also learning organic content at the same time. Because I don't know my page doesn't great either. So anything that was working my business, let me turn that off. Let me put that in pause and start running into this shit show of everything that won't work. So now you're up to speed on where I'm at.
Got it, man. Yeah, that's some great context, and fortunately I've heard this story many times. Real quick, before we hop in, really getting clear on like your niche exactly.
Yeah. So mostly it's people trying to get back together with their ex. That's where I was before, most of the time, because they're in the most amount of pain, and I've solved the problem so many times. Tons of testimonials, tons of proof. I worked with a lot of people. Also, I like helping people that are in relationships trying to avoid divorce, separation, or like just make their shit better. Like really learn how to communicate and talk to the person that they love and want to be with.
Okay.
The last part of the niche would be going into dating, but like I don't really produce a lot for that right now because I don't. Ironically, I don't want to do too many things at one time. That would be a terrible idea. That's what I used to think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was mostly like in relationship, like the fear of losing what they have or have already lost it. That would be it in relationships. And what I do for people is I bridge the gap from where they are to where they need to be in order to have the relationship they want. So my background is in business with a concentration in marketing and communication. So I rebrand you, remarket you to your target audience of one, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever you want to be with. And then I teach you how to communicate with them, which is speaking to them the way they want to be spoken to. So that's what I do, like in a nutshell. So I teach persuasion, negotiation, sales tactics, how to implement this, not to manipulate, but to persuade and have more like highly perceivable outcomes for what you want and how to get it.
Got it. That gets me clear on there. And just to let you know, I want you to feel comfort in where you are because we've seen this a lot where people have a massive success. They go from 0 to 80K and then they burn down their entire business and pivot in a new direction. So just to let you know, this isn't unnormal. Like we see this a lot. So with that being said, tell me about when you had that massive growth there and you were successful. What was it that you were in love with in your offer, and what were some of the things that you didn't really like? And what do you feel? We'll just start there.
The offer, it was 500 an hour or 3.6K for 10 hours or 6K for 20 hours. But then everybody told me, dude, you can't just trade your time for money. You're making all this money. Well, it's a stupid thing to do. You got to do something else. And I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah. And there was no group coaching offer or course behind that or anything. It was just direct one-to-one only, or
yeah, I had some master classes, but like I gave most of that stuff away. I wrote some books, worksheets, master classes. Like I had the fuck your ex book. It's a tale of two stories. You either get it back in the fucker, you don't get it back fucker. You have to learn. You gotta take something of it. I got the text stretch cheat sheets, which are bullet points on like exactly how to text and communicate through text and what it looks like and what you need to do. I had the 365 conversation starters. There's a book of like good questions, like how to hold conversations with storytelling. So I have a lot of other things that I built. Now, plenty to not tell you. But yeah, before it's just I have these things, and I was like, oh, here I give to you. Like, all right, we're gonna do a master class. We're gonna do the Never Fight Your Partner master class. If you're a personal client, come on in. And then other people I'd sell for like $300. It's not really. It wasn't really. I didn't really run traffic to it. Like I attempted to, but like I didn't know what I was selling because it was like again, stay in my lane, dude. It's fucking high ticket coaching, 1-to-1. Run the ad, close the client. Run the ad, close the client. That's it.
Yeah.
But I went away from that.
yeah, you weren't so excited with the sales calls. I think you told me.
I love sales calls. So I'm sure.
You love sales.
Yeah. I'm not scared of close. Like I'm a creature. I like talking to people. So before, like, I grew up in sales at the gym doing MMA, and like we grew from 100 members at $95 a month, and so I told the owner, like, Mark, we need to change the price to 185, and we grew from the 95 members to like 475.
Okay.
And like I had a 97% close rate.
Oh, wow.
Like so sales is like
7%.
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, okay. I was
Okay, so that
Only thing
potentially
different.
tells us that you could have
Even charge more for your office.
that was at the gym. Yeah, my offer didn't have the 97% close rate.
Oh, okay.
Because of my qualifying process. Like when it's 1-to-1 and I'm spending 20 hours with you, it's not always about the money. It's do I like spending time with you? When you're doing this and it's not a group setting or this call or this is the offer, when it's all just like,
Okay.
I have to spend 20 hours of my time with you.
Okay. So you
Do I mind?
you didn't like all the one-to-one with the customer. Is that what I'm hearing?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they don't need 20 hours to solve their problem. Sometimes they need more.
Okay.
It was very person dependent. That's why I don't think it was a great offer. It's like this can't serve everyone, and if you don't have the money, you can't afford it. And the deliverable is just I'm going to help you do like the things that you need help with.
Okay, and just to be clear here, we also see this very often with the burn down phase is we go into this Alex Hormozy value first model, which we totally believe in. What we often see in this is business owners hear that is I have to teach them all the hows of how I'm doing it, not the what's and whys. And so ultimately what we've done at Scaling Lean and inside the Scaling Lean method is we've created the 2-offer system where you have your marketing offer and then you have your fulfillment offer. So fulfillment offer is all your hows and all the marketing is all your what's and whys. So potentially that might have been where you started to see drop off because people felt like they got everything they needed, right? Yeah. So then they're like, why do I need to buy a higher ticket item or more balanced time? That's so awesome. because he's giving me everything I need to solve my problem.
Yeah.
So that potentially might have been what happened there. I'm not fully sure, so I don't know, but great. I have a good context there. So ultimately, you're savage on the phone lines. You had a proven sales process, and you were doing cold traffic on Facebook, right?
Yeah, really cool.
Perfect. And do you know like your return on ad spend or anything like that? Just so I'm clear.
Oh, it was huge. Like I was spending like less than $1,000 a week at 8K.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was less. I was like running maybe $20 a day,
Okay.
and then I closing for 6K or 5K.
Wow.
Like it was very low ad spend.
Yeah. So when you were doing let's just say the 20 hours for 6K, when you had that 2-tier offer, what was the one that was selling the most? Was it the 3,600 or the 6K?
It just depended on the client. I was like, I'll just give you a little bit of a discount if you want more time.
Okay.
I had a $5 offer, but like, ironically, nobody took the 5 because it was so close to the 10.
Okay.
That was like the Starbucks model, like where do you put the middle cup?
Yeah.
So that was on purpose.
Yeah.
And then I would say like my best performing clients are choosing the 10 or 20 hour package. So if you had to pick two of those, like which one would you lean towards? What do you think what best for your situation?
Yeah.
Something we just talked about.
Yeah, you're a sales savage, so you know about price anchoring, right? So you can come about 6K and then sell to 3,600 if they don't want that, right?
Yeah.
Totally get it. All right, so I'm clear. So part of our 2-offer process inside the client fulfillment offer, really what we teach coaches and folks in your space is if you were brand new and you've far exceeded this, but I just want to break that down to give a little context. We start with a $500 offer for 4 weeks, right? And usually that is 4 weeks of one-to-ones once a week, right? And that's just to get the wheels turning, to get our initial 5 clients, get a $2,500 cash injection, just get the feedback process rolling. So then after we establish those 5 clients, then we generally go to an 8-week model, and we bring the price up to between $1,000 and $2,000. And what we do here is we do still 4 weeks of one-to-ones, but then we expand into 4 weeks of group coaching as well. So we've had coaches and experts like yourself they'll either do the 4 weeks on the front end and then the group coaching support on the back, or they'll just trickle the 4 weeks throughout the 8-week process, like every other week. Again, you're still ahead of this. So you're now in the product market fit phase where you've had, I didn't ask you this directly, but generally between 35 and 50 clients.
Yeah, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Wonderful. So once we step into that arena, what we do is we build basically our flagship offer. What that consists of is a course, a community, and then a hybrid group coaching offer, which is some of your time one-to-one, but most of your time in a group coaching session offer, right? So this is generally a 90 to 120 day transformation, and you're meeting with your clients once a month, one-to-one, and then they're in that group container every single week. You can do 1 call a week, you can do 2 calls a week, depending on the level of support they need in order to keep them moving. And then we help you lay out the milestones within that offer. So then they're seeing success and celebrating wins at each one of those monthly check-ins with you, and you keep them moving throughout the process. So this allows you to iterate your offer generally from a $2,800 price point to a $3,800 price point to a $5,000 price point, $7,500, $10,000. And then generally you put a 12-month program or a 6-month program, depending on offer, on top of that for $15,000 to $20,000 for that person that wants that really intimate connection. And then pretty much the same thing, but sometimes we do bi-weekly calls, so 2 calls a month instead of 1. But that's completely dependent on what the business owner wants their business to look like. So I really feel, Alan, that you're in the place right now that you really know what your client needs. Potentially the book that you mentioned there, we don't have to make this crazy elaborate course. We can make it as simple as 4 modules, right? For each month, or if it's 3 months, we can do 3 modules, and then having 3 different modules inside of that to explain the different things that you're doing. So now you have a product, right?
Yeah.
And that person can consume and understand what you're doing. And then you can go on the group calls and say, hey, go to the reference guide, which is your course, and watch this module. Come back to me next week and tell me what you learned and what you've implemented, and then we'll go from there. So now it's taking the load off you, empowering your client, and everyone wins, right?
Also raises the value of my time.
Absolutely. Raising the value of your time, and then ultimately, eventually you can just delegate that.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be in that offer if you don't want, because it's so lock and bolt. You've got your case studies and testimonials behind it. Everyone's hunky-dory and happy, and that's where you're at. I think where we're at now, I know based on what you told me, you're definitely at the advanced level. So I think what we should do together right now is we should spend time thinking about what would it take in that 3 to 4 month program in order to get that person the result? Because once we have that 4 month layout, then we can break that down into your marketing offer and then start to create what we call the 5 minute webinar, which explains what they're going to be getting inside of that marketing offer. And that's like your sexy copy and the things that are going to attract them into you based on your character, your story, and how you're going to get them from point A to point B.
So then, yeah. Are we married to ask you that 4 month offer?
3 month, I would say. You can do whatever you want, man. It's all set and forget, but this is just a general framework that we use.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I'm not trying to say like I'm special. If you guys like, so like in like the X back space specifically,
Okay.
like people I've seen prefer to pay for speed. They're like highly anxious about what's happening, don't know what's going on, they want results. And I'm not saying it should be faster, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like a 30-day intensive at a higher price point. This is what I was brainstorming. And this, I'll give you like my quick rundown. You tell me if this is awful. So I was thinking it's free webinar as like lead magnet. Okay, join my free webinar. We're going to be talking about like texting. Okay. So learn how to text your ex. Free webinar. So it's, here's why with what other people say shouldn't do, like how to do the contact thing. You're like, here's why this isn't working. What you're doing isn't working. Here's what you feel. Okay. And then this is going to be like, okay. From there, I was going to say, okay, now we're going to go to a VIP day. The VIP day is going to be a $497 qualifying thing. And this is where I'm going to teach you my text your ex cheat sheets. I'm going to go into detail about it. We're going to talk about situation specific stuff. And this is going to be a 1 day event to qualify them for if they you have to. So this is going to be a 4 or 5 hour thing. We're going to go over X, Y, and Z. And then I'll be teaching the book to them, going into more detail about it. So it's not like I'm just reading a book to them. Yeah. Then we're going to go, okay, let's do some text message reviews. So I'd be like, okay, John, so let's do your text. Let me tell you, okay, now, and then I'll say, based off of what you just learned, why do you think your texts are a 10 out of 10? And how do you think you can make it better? You'd be like, I changed this and this. I'd be like, that's not bad. But you went from a 3 where you are. And the thing is, if I say, John, how good of a texter you are? Maybe 10 out of 10. But if your girl's, he's a 3 out of 10. What are you? It's perception. You're perceived in 3 out of 10. You're 3 out of 10. It doesn't matter what you think you are. So then I'm like, okay, so now you were a 3. Now you've learned this and now you fixed it. You got a 5. You're still not a 10. We need to get you a 10 out of 10 communicator with a person you love because this is how you persuade them. This is how you want what you want. This is how you feel it. Open and honest, vulnerable, emotional, like all these things. So it's like, you still need my help. So like, John, I'm going to do it for you. Yeah. So everybody will leave with one message from me ready to send to their ex. Okay. That's the deliverable.
And you want to deliver that for $497
in 1 day. One text. Because what happens when I do that text? What do they do? They respond.
Yeah, now I got you. They celebrate a win. I got you.
They celebrate a win, and their ex responded. Yeah. Now they need to have this conversation. How do they do it? John, you join my 30 days for $4,000. And here's exactly what we're going to do. That's what I was thinking. Because they want to get the person back now. I don't, if I say, dude, yeah, we can get your ex back in 120 days. 120 days, you don't want to kill myself every day. Yeah. Like it's how they feel like.
Yeah, I like where you're coming from here, Alan, because you're breaking the belief of I can't do this myself and you're giving them a tangible win. So I do like the way you have that structure. So maybe instead of us laying out a 90 or 120 day offer, let's structure out a 4 week offer. Yeah. And then just do those milestones instead of the 90, 120 day inside of each week. Yeah. So then that'll create, again, our marketing offer. And you'll still potentially sell that, but it'll be good that we have the clarity, even if we don't showcase that on the front end for you, they'll understand like what you're selling, right? It'll be a bit more conviction, even though it sounds like you're set sales. So let's talk about what would each week look like potentially?
Okay, so if we had to break down it, so one, we would need to cover like what is communication. So I'll break down communication, like what that is. I'll probably do two group calls because one would definitely be text message review. So we'd say 2 calls group. Okay. And then I would do for the 4 weeks. Do you think 1 call or 1 bi-weekly call with me would be enough or too much?
At max, do 2 calls.
Yeah. Because here's my fear is if I'm doing 2 calls per person, what if I saw a lot of us? What if I have 20 people? What do I do?
Then we fill that spot with someone that can do it for you because you're going to have a framework and a blueprint that they're going to be able to use.
Jonathan, you're forgetting nobody knew what I do.
0
people can do what I do.
Right. That's a whole different belief system.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So we'll say 2 group calls weekly. One is going to be like a communication text because these should be teaching calls, right? For sure, one be a Q&A, like
anything. Yeah, generally, like for us in our business, we do a marketing sales call, and then we do more big tech and ads training and stuff like that. So it separates it. Although we do answer questions on both calls, but we front load the call with this particular thing. And usually that's one of the bigger things that they're struggling with. So for you, maybe let's review your text on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays, let's focus solely on just communication, right? So then we're going to do both of those on both days, but let's specifically look at one thing on each day on the front of the call.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So like we say monthly here.
Yeah.
So this meets you one on, one calls.
One thing generally too, just to give you a little insight, not to make this like an hour long thing, but generally like the first thing we like to do inside an offer is really focus on mindset, right? Because it's going to take a lot for someone generally to reframe their perspective to a growth mindset, right? Because a lot of people in this world, and I've been through it, you've been through it, the education doesn't really teach, the education system of today doesn't really teach us exactly like what it takes to look within and understand that we're a lot of the problem and then shift those beliefs. So generally we have some type of personal development, Ryan, like pre-frame and precede the rest of the weeks, right?
Most of the coaching is actually personal development wrapped up in the problem that I solve. Because like I said, what I tell you, what I do is I bridge the gap from who you are to who you need to be. So how do we do that?
Yeah, we sell futures, man. Love it.
Yeah, and it's breaking all the beliefs. So it's like, okay, John, this is what we're gonna do. You got, I'm a bad texter. Cool, man. How many hours are you spent trying to be better? None. Oh, so it'd be unreasonable for me to think that you're a good texter. So what is it like to put in that volume? How do you practice? So it's breaking these beliefs of like how they think. Like it's taking ownership for what they've done wrong. It's understanding why this wasn't good. I have anger issues with why.
Yeah.
Like what's making you mad?
So what I'm hearing is like potentially first week is like why this is going wrong.
Yeah.
Second week is overall communication or maybe human psychology.
Yeah.
Third week potentially is like how to text, right? The right way. And then fourth week is even if you just make it feedback and growth,
Yeah.
like next step forward, completely cool.
So we're saying why on week one. Week two would be
communication and like communication deep dive.
Yeah.
Make it super easy.
Yeah.
Week three is going to be your like ultimately like the inside of the phone and like what is going wrong inside of that, like more integration, right, of the new process. And then week four will be just overall feedback and next steps forward. And that's where you can basically precede the next problem that they're going to potentially have. And then that could lead to a future upsell.
That's exactly how I explain it. Because I go into games, in the game, the goal is you get a back shot. It's get back good way. It doesn't stop here. And like my worst performing clients have stopped there. My best performing clients, it's here's what they've done next. Then I invite them to the next thing.
Yeah.
What's the next thing? What do I do after this?
Just more of you.
More of you. Okay. So that's when I go, okay, now those have this, fire.
Yeah, now you put them on a 6-month plan or a 90-day plan for
much higher price.
2K retainer.
2K retainer plus.
So 6K for 3 months or 5K paid full.
And that's just a retainer, and then they pay for 8 hours.
No, you're what you saying. Just you get 2 sessions a month for 6 months
for 6K.
For 6K or 5K paid full.
Okay.
And then ultimately you would eventually step out of the flagship offer and you'd just be certified higher than full. Yeah. Which would raise your authority and then that would help that bottom offer sell. And then you could come off of closing and just you're in a call, dude.
I get close with them.
We can help with all that, dude.
They can't do it at you, man.
All right. So for the sake of time, because this one is getting a little bit long here.
Yeah.
Ultimately, now we have your offer structure,
which
I absolutely love. So really, for the most part, we're pretty much ready to build our 5-minute webinar. So we're going to use that 4-week structure in order to build the plan for our clients. And it's not really going to be like heavy dopamine like you see with most marketers out there that are just filling things with like guarantees and all this stuff to like really get people in. No, we're going to shift beliefs with this. We're going to bring your personal story and the clients that you've helped and the beliefs that you've shifted into our 5-minute webinar. And we're going to test this hypothesis that we just created. And we can do that with less than $300 in ad spend because it sounds to me like you've already got a really good funnel. So when we install this framework in, if we don't see a call within $150, $250, we're going to go back to our hypothesis and we're going to take a look. We do see a call, then obviously we're going to let it run a bit longer, let it run to $1,000, try to get 4 calls. And out of those 4 calls, generally one of those should close at least. And then from that feedback, we're going to take, and then we're going to see what worked and didn't work. And then we're going to basically double everything down and scale it.
So how long did it take to test that? How many like days or weeks? I'm just trying to see when we do episode 2 so I can tell them how much we want.
Yeah, so generally we don't recommend starting on anything less than $35 a day.
Yeah, from that.
We love starting with $100 a day just because it helps us we can test more audience, more angles, and then it just gets us back feedback quicker. It might sound scary for some folks that are watching this, but it's really not if you understand what's going on here, right? And you have a concise offer and you have us to help you and give you feedback, right? It's $100 a day, which would help us basically get that feedback in a 7-day window. And then we're basically off to the races. We cut all the losers and we double down. We take all the budget that you had that of the winner and we basically duplicate that into more creatives and then $100, $200 a day.
And what do we do for Facebook ad landing page? Or where are we trying to get them to book on the calendar?
Yeah,
What are we thinking? Like
100%. So we're gonna make a lookalike audience of your Instagram followers or Facebook followers generally, okay? Because those are gonna be people that already received what you like.
yeah.
And then we're gonna drive those folks to a landing page. We're gonna capture their email. We're gonna build all the nurturing sequences, which will drive them back to our 5-minute webinar. So ad, landing page, 5-minute webinar phone. They watch the short 5-minute video because people's attention spans are super short today.
Yeah.
They say Alan's my guy or Alan's not my guy. They fill out a survey which qualifies them based on their income, exactly what they want and don't want. And then from that page, they go to a calendar booking page, and then they get a thank you page with more value videos, information before the call to help pre-sell more of your plan. Not the sexy things like that are super blingy, but more of the misconceptions and beliefs.
Okay.
So then that's how they come to the call prepared to really just get going because they understand the process already. So it's more of a no-brainer close because they're pre-seeded and understand more about what you do. So yeah, man, it's really that simple. And we have a data board, the tracking dashboard to really measure the analytics through that entire funnel process. So then we can make concise, fast decisions based on real data, not just lead gen cost per lead, right? We're making our decisions based on bottom of funnel. How much is it taking to acquire a client? How much is it taking to book a call? Instead of just depending on meta and like how much is a lead cost, which to be honest isn't even 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's a high level view. Again, for the sake of time. I know you got a lot going on here at the Brand Shark
Yeah.
Content Summit. Awesome. Any last remarks or questions?
Not really. I understand a lot more, and I can't wait to see what happens with it, man. Appreciate your time, bro.
Let's let it down.
Yeah.
Thanks, chat soon, bro.
See you, man.
So I hope you got a lot of great information and structure behind launching your offer and or developing a process that's aligned with who you are, what you want to build your tribe around, and ultimately how to build it, right? We go deeper inside of the Scaling Lean community. There'll be a link in the description below. We have loads of free resources, and we also do have the 28-day fast start and revenue lab for those of you who want some accelerated learning. But for the most part, this should really help you identify some of the bottlenecks and or things that you're potentially pivoting out of or maybe not going deep enough in order to have the initial success. Again, not normal results with Alan. We met back in June. He's decided to hop into our 4 weeks to profit cohort in August. By September, he landed a $90,000 client, which is unbelievable to me. But it just goes to show, Alan, you put in the work, you focused on one offer and you got clear on who you wanted to work with. You built the business that you wanted, and that's the outcome. So love to support you. Drop some comments below this video and or join the community and let us know what your biggest resistance is, what your offer looks like now, what niche you're in, and we can go from there. Chat soon.